Hello and welcome to another match of Dota 2. We are watching the RedBull Esports Champions League, and we are back in Group A, I should say. We had got a couple of games of Group B. We started off with Group A, and we are back in Group A. Orange and LGD Gaming will be seeing who picks up that 1 point that is still up for grabs between them. Of course, this is Beyond the Summit presentation. With me is Vikermond. Welcome back.
Good to be back, Shiver. I think unfortunately this will be my last one of the night. We've wrapped around to work times for me, so I'll be heading off to a meeting after this. But what a game to go out on. I'll be extremely excited to see what Orange have in their hat. Didn't look tremendously effective against IG. IG just slowly choked them out in a grinding, grueling game. But it's entirely possible that they fare better against LGD here. Mushi Alchemist is one of the fastest farming alchemists in the land. Sometimes floats a little more gold than I think people would like to see, but I think nonetheless this is an excellent first pick. LGD, meanwhile, taking the extremely versatile Naga Siren, and of course, probably the strongest carry currently in the game, Gyrocopter.
And of course, sometimes Mushi floats a little less gold than we would like to see, as that was the case for one of the games earlier.
Well, that was just lack of farm. Don't worry, if he had gotten more gold, he would have held it.
But that's normally the way things go. Oh, you mean that he doesn't spend it in time? Right? Or
right.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, we have got quite normal bans so far. I have to say, Visage, Batrider, Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin. Maybe not as normal, but still normally on the high priority list for a lot of teams. Of course, that has set up disables on the side of Orange. We still have the Rubik in the pool. And talking about set up disables, we've seen Naga Siren played as a support mostly today. And that might be the case in this one as well, with already the Gyrocopter there, already of course the combination of having Anden and Snare walking up to the target, or flying if you're a Gyrocopter, and putting out that rock barrage on a target that is hopefully also riptided is very potent on the side of LGD already, if they are indeed on the same lane. Alchemist and Chen picked up for Orange. Quite standard, nothing really spectacular. Not really pinning themselves down onto anything, although aggressive trialing is probably out of the question.
Right, well, most likely yes.
Yeah.
And LGD, of course, I am interested to see if more teams start adopting the North American tactic of the solo mid Naga, because I actually think that's quite strong as well. I haven't seen LGD use it, but I haven't caught every single one of their games. I think you're right, Shiver, and it's more likely a support Naga Siren. The other possibility is maybe the tri-lane farmer in an aggressive try, but all that depends on how the draft pans out. It is very interesting that LGD values the hero highly enough to secure its second. That's not commonly seen, although maybe it's something we're going to be moving into. And really no surprises with the bans at all as well. We're not going to see Visage get through the ban phase much in this tournament. In Chinese versus Chinese matches, obviously Orange is not a Chinese team, but most of the teams in this tournament are. It's rare that this hero gets through, and when it does, it's terrifying.
Yeah, and we see LGD taking their time to think about their ban, and they actually banned the Magnus. Well, we have seen a Magnus today, but still, I'm not really convinced that that is a choice that, makes that big of a difference. But apparently, they just want to have the team that has most of the team fight potential, and just banning out some team fight of their own to make sure that indeed is the case.
Yeah, LGD values Magnus highly relative to most teams right now. They pick it often when it's available, and they also ban it if they're not interested in picking it in their composition. He does have some counter ability to Gyrocopter, for instance. Even if you rush the BKB, they're able to bring you down. Also a big RP into an unstable concoction with Acid Spray under you. You could all just die, and they are aware that more likely than not Mushi will be big this game, so they want to take out things that can leverage, Mushi potentially being extremely large.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. Never mind. I was gonna say we still have the Darkseer in the pool, because you have got the vacuum into an unstable concoction, but LGD not banning it out because they knew they had the first pick, so they pick it up themselves. And of course, Darkseer, Naga Siren. If this was a game for Virtus Pro, or for IC Cup, I would have said, bring on the Disruptor.
I don't really see... Well, honestly, they could. I think Disruptor would be very strong in this team. Yeah, it's certainly possible. They still probably need a mid if they're not running Naga mid. Dragon Knight is available, surprisingly, this late in the draft. We could even see Ohio taking that for Orange mid.
The Disruptor?
Actually, Dragon Knight would be great for either team.
I was gonna say... Yeah, OD still in the pool as well. So OD, Dragon Knight, 2 strong heroes. We saw them banned out as the first bans in the previous game. Totally ignored for now. And the Nature's Prophet kind of giving a bit away of Orange's lineup. I mean, this is already a lot of pushing power coming out from Orange. It is actually the first time that we actually see a Nature's Prophet picked up. We've seen him banned out a couple of times, but other than that, ignored. And the Dragon Knight still picked up, but then on the side of LGD. And that will be their solo mid.
They love that DK, and they're very good with it. I'm kind of... I guess Orange just didn't want to play the DK. One drafting opportunity they had here was to take the DK first, since LGD has no room for Nature's Prophet, and then take the Nature's Prophet fourth, and you end up with a very strong pushing lineup that can create a lot of momentum that Alchemist can sweep behind and just farm everything. But if they have another mid in mind and they're comfortable giving away the DK, there's things like Queen of Pain available that just really can style on DK in the mid. In the LGD versus Navi series that we wrapped up, God, was it only yesterday? It feels like a week ago. We saw Queen of Pain really being very strong against DK in that 1v1 mid matchup.
Yeah, and he can, I mean, Puck's still in the pool as well. There's still a lot of options that can do very well up against the Dragon Knight. And Dragon Knight, of course, I mean, he is not a hero that really loses his lane, so he is going to be okay no matter what Orange picks up, and because of that, maybe we're going to see them picking up one of the supports before anything else, just because there's so many options still left to face that Dragon Knight, that you might just want to just pick up something like, well, what support do they still want to have, actually? Something like Rubik. Am I missing him? He's not picked up nor banned. Be a nice pickup. We still have the Leshrek and the Lina in the pool to combine up with the... I was actually saying that
I
for...
like Lesh.
Yeah, well, I was saying that for LGD, but it's nice that they picked it up instead.
I think Lesh is a great pickup for Orange here. Again, they have a very scary pushing lineup. I think if they had taken the DK, you'd lose the Leshrac in the 5th ban slot, so this is just fine. I think they have a lineup that's shaping up to be very scary as far as its ability to push. However, LGD have a pretty good anti-push lineup, in my opinion. Between Darkseer, Dragon Knight, and Gyrocopter, they can clear waves extremely quickly, keep them off towers, and leave that space open. I'm still waiting for the hero that takes the LGD Naga Siren support over the top, and I don't see it just yet, because it has to be a support.
Lina?
Sure. It's an option. What do you think the strength of the Lina here would be?
Extra burst damage, and of course the follow-up disable on the net, on the ensnare. And just the ability to burn someone down real fast. And of course, if you're an alchemist, you don't want to give him time to get the regen back up with if he has got the levels for the chemical rage. And just extra burst damage is going to be needed then. The same thing goes for Chen, just to burst him down before he can get a heal off. And it's all very nice. Rubik is the one that gets banned out in the end together with the Puck though. And the Enchantress goes away with LGD. I like that lineup. But I'm not really convinced. Like, they could even still go for an aggressive Trilon if they want to with an Enchantress in the jungle, but I doubt it. I doubt that's gonna happen. And I like Naga Siren as a support, but I like her most if she is indeed on an aggressive Trilane.
That's true. But however, if she gets levels, I think they'll be happy getting her, that 1 rank in Mirror Image and max the Ensnare and get Riptide stack ranks when you can. And it is easier to find the levels in a safe lane Trilane. I do like this lineup. I actually like the Enchantress quite a bit. One of the cool things they can do is even if Gyro is getting really, really oppressed, they can use the Song of the Siren and the Enchantress heal, and by the time that the song ends, Gyro will be pretty much at full health. It's like a free cheese. So that's kind of a neat trick that they can do with this Ench. Of course, they have quite a bit of ganking potential as well. Let's say she steals a Dark Troll Summoner. Just imagine how long they can lock somebody down for between the Ensnare of the Dark Troll Summoner and the Ensnare of the Naga Siren.
And the Storm Spirit will be having an okay time up against a Dragon Knight at least. The question is, how much is he gonna get ahead before he starts to try and roam, starts to try and pick up kills? And it will be a mushy Storm, by the way. So I'm gonna be curious to see how, you said, he's a player that likes to hold on to his gold. He's known for that. I believe he was the first one for a long time that actually made it over the 100k at some point. Was it 100 or was it 10k? It was 10k probably.
10k. He's been the only person in a while to have 10k floating gold. Well, actually, I've seen it at the end of matches, but he had it in the middle of a match.
Yeah. So
some sort of bug for Orange here.
Apparently, they don't see the HP bars. But on a hero like Storm, you can't really wait too long with buying items, because you are this hero that needs to be dominating mid game. And the way to do that is to get ahead. And even if it's a little bit, even if you buy a smaller item, as long as you are ahead, you're doing okay. But if you then save your gold, you're not going to be ahead, in fact, and then you might not be able to get the ganks off as much as you want to. And then you're going to be transitioning into a Storm Spirit that will be maybe doing something later on, but you're going to get countered by the BKBs that will go off. And, you know, it's going to be tougher from there on out. So it's going to be important to see what his actual timings are on the items that he is going to buy. As I'll just go over Orange real fast. We've got KYXY playing the Alchemist this game. Extinct or X playing the Chen. Ohio on the Nature's Prophet. Within the mid lane, Mushi on the Storm Spirit. And we're missing one. Where is... Oh, there. Ha, there you are. Net on the Leshrac playing the support.
Yep. I guess looking up towards LGD, they have Yao on the Dragon Knight, most likely in the mid. That puts Xiao 8 not in the mid role that he sometimes plays, but he will be in the off lane on the Darkseer. DDC on the support Naga Siren, as you pointed out, Shiver. DD on the Enchantress, and Sylar on the Gyrocopter. One thing I do want to say about Orange's lineup, I think Orange is comfortable with this because this is true of Orange quite a lot, but a lot of their fate in this matchup rests on Mushi's game, and particularly, in my opinion, his early game. If he's able to dominate the area of the game between the 10 and 20 minute marks, I think Orange are in fantastic shape because they can push off of the ganks that he generates and create space for Alchemist to farm and generate a tremendous amount of advantage and kill these squishy supports quickly. If he can't, and especially if DD and DDC are able to gank Mushi early before he gets his ball lightning, I think Orange are in a world of trouble. Because I think LGD could just start rolling them if Mushi is a non-factor. So that's going to be a delicate thing in this matchup, and if I were Orange, I'd pay very close attention to make sure that Mushi doesn't suffer any ganking pressure early.
Yeah, no pressure indeed, also for indeed Mushi mid-game. He is the one to buy time for the Alchemist. Of course, Alchemist, if he goes for a bit of a Shadow Blade, will be able to be active earlier on already, but will really depend on how fast he can get that up. And of course also, at some point, how much can Ohio actually split push on his Nature's Prophet? How much space can he create for his team to farm? As it looks like we are going to see an aggressive trial in here. LGD going for the aggressive trial. And I like this a lot. Will be Enchantress aggressively jungling then. And we'll see the support Naga Siren on the aggressive trial. And then I like to see up against a solo laning Ohio. Aggressive trial and also coming off from Orange. So we might have a bit of a rotation at some point. Maybe, well actually, do you think they are on an aggressive trial lane to dodge the aggressive trial lane coming off from LGD?
I think Orange correctly surmised that LGD would do the aggressive, so I think it's a little of both, honestly. I don't think they're necessarily disadvantaged in the try versus try, but it is something they'd like to avoid. The Chen versus Enchantress matchup is sometimes very awkward because his Holy Persuasion at rank 1 has a 30-second cooldown. Actually, I mean, they both have 30-second cooldowns, but Enchantress sort of has the 2 creeps to his 1 early on.
Yeah. The main difference going for ganks earlier, or at least possibility to go for ganks earlier because you have more creeps. On the other side, there's already a smoke up on X. And no smoke in the bags of DD. And we already have got a rotation from someone. We only have 2 people left on the top lane. Who am I missing here? Oh, I'm missing the Chen. He's sitting in a jungle.
Chen. Yeah, he's jungling. I don't think, unless he gets very favorable creeps, like he needs a couple Dark Trolls to actually do anything against this Darkseer. Darkseer should be fairly safe, as long as he hightails it at the first sight of the Alchemist Unstable Concoction.
Yeah, of course, one of the things that you can do with an Enchantress, when you have 2 creeps, if you get a Harpy Stormcaller, look at Mushi. Like, this spam that's coming out from this Harpy is no joke. No joke
Harpy
whatsoever.
Is a jerk creep. It's so incredibly powerful when you get it. It's hard to tell because it doesn't always spawn, of course, but when you get that as your first easy camp, it gives you such a tremendous advantage that I'm not entirely certain it's actually balanced.
I don't think it's balanced at all. I mean, it just makes you win the mid lane. Like, flat out. We do have a rotation though. Invisibility run up on net. And of course a chance to hang around there with a Centaur this time. So Yao might be in a little bit of danger should they get a Split Earth off. Of course, Split Earth followed up by Centaur Stun. Very potent. There might be a Vortex. There is actually a Vortex up on the Storm as well. So they all go for it. The Vortex is gonna be there. Here comes the Split Earth. Centaur Stomp as well. And this should be the first blood going the way of Orange. It is Net that picks it up on his Leshrac. Nicely done.
Yeah, a pretty important kill for Orange. Again, as we mentioned, they did force Ohio back to the fountain, but
Yeah.
this is not the end of the world for this Nature's Prophet. For Storm Spirit to do well early, he needs to win the lane. And Dragon Knight is a very difficult hero to win the lane against, unless you have a good ganking rotation, and that's what they really bring there. Meanwhile, nice Xiao8 using the very early surge, earlier than you'd typically expect it, knowing that most likely Net and Net and X are coming through the trees.
Yeah, they are, of course, I mean, they just were middle. One thing to know where they're going, probably top. So they're not going to try and make anything happen on the bottom lane because nobody was left there. So yeah, nice anticipation as the tower goes down. Bottom lane, no surprise, of course. The pressure was high and Nature's Prophet not able to do anything. He actually is still sitting behind his creep wave. Not really comfortable in showing his face. There is the ward, so they will see him soon. But he can't really go out. And he can't even go into the jungle because Enchantress is making that unclear, unsafe. So he has to be careful, and he is not going to be getting anything for a while. Of course, Nature's Prophets, if they still pick up a Hand of Midas, they will be able to catch up on their farm. And that is something that, for example, if a Darkseers gets shut down, maybe is a little bit less possible. But this Darkseer is actually having a really good time, though. Like, he is level 4. Minute 4, 9 last hits, and with this Iron Shell, able to continue to push the lanes out. I think Xiao8 has a nice time here on this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, he'll hit level 5 right now. Keep in mind that Ohio is stuck down at level 2. They run the risk of having this Nature's Prophet be a non-entity for a substantial portion of the game, which against a team that can go aggressive on you like LGD is a problem. Good news is, I mean, they've won mid, basically. Dragon Knight is being forced off the lane consistently by Mushi. He's still more or less earning experience, but it's not a great situation, and Mushi's going to be extremely threatening once Ball Lightning right now hits the possible field. So good news for Darkseer. I think the tri-lane also went pretty well. Sooner or later, though, they're going to have to reckon with Mushi, and I expect them to start doing it as soon as they get the tier 2.
Yeah, we do have the regen rune in the bags of Mushi, though. You might want to use it to try and get another kill up on Yao. Yao is completely out of mana. He does have 5 stick charges. Not yet level 6. In come the supports. They are smoked up. Net, as well as the Centaur and his master, Extinct or X. Tier 2 tower bottom will still go down. I mean, there's no way that LGD is going to let this pass up. I mean, this is just a free tower. But in comes the defense.
They're going to punish them.
Yeah, they're going to punish them hard. TP comes in from the Alchemist as well at the last second. Here they come. In comes the stun that was already charging up. Split Earth there as well. Naga Siren going to be the first victim there. That's one down. Can they get another? DD trying to run Nature's Attendants flying, but I don't think he can run Lightning flying through and a Test of Faith. Oh my god, those Nature's Attendants. In comes Ohio. That's going to be the last hit right there. They only get 2 though, and they don't get Sylar. Sylar is able to TP himself out into safety.
Oddly enough, I think LGD probably regards this as an acceptable trade because they've brought down both outer towers. Oh, what a nice Split Earth by Net. Do they get Yao? Yeah. They will, I think.
The Vortex there as well. The Sprout up. He can't fly away. Eats himself a tree. Might be enough. And DDC not there with the song, but it doesn't matter. Yao is home safe. Against the odds.
Yeah, they didn't get the stun, and KYXY didn't have another TP or mana to cast this Unstable Concoction. I actually thought for a brief second that might be Yao repeating, KYXY repeating the trick of charging the Unstable Concoction, TPing, and then throwing it, which is what he just did when he came to bottom. But he didn't. Yao escapes. Definitely good for LGD. Losing Dragon Knight on top of all that action probably would be more than they want to lose. Otherwise, the sheer map control of getting 2 towers down for the opposing jungle this early, if they can add the middle tier 1 tower to their collection, they're going to tremendously pressure Nature's Prophet. Like, how does Nature's Prophet get back into the game? It becomes quite difficult.
Yeah, he needs that Hand of Midas, but if they already start shutting him down before he has that, that's going to be very tough. Very tough for Ohio to get back in there. The bright side, I mean, Mushi is doing okay. He's been in all 3 kills so far, only assists. But he is, of course, one of the heroes that should be trying to get the mid game going the way of Orange. And to be fair, I mean, LGD, they got towers, that's great, but they don't have any kills just yet. They just have control over the map, which is, of course, pretty big. But still, once Orange starts taking down towers as well, they're gonna get even real fast.
That's true. It is going to be difficult for Orange to take down towers, though, simply because of the amount of force in an area, force projection that LGD has. Also, take a look. Net actually is going more of a teamfight approach to the Leshrac with the Split Earth and the Lightning Storm. So that gives him good wave clear, but not especially good push. He doesn't have that Edict. So really, with an underlevel Nature's Prophet, Yao's in trouble.
Yeah,
Do they
gonna
lose
get
the
stunned
courier?
up.
No.
Here comes the Split Earth. Test of Faith. Yao Doesn't have a tango, or actually did have tangos, but too late. Wouldn't have been making a difference either. And with this pickup, it looks like they can pick up a tower as well, or at least do quite some damage to it. Because in comes TP. Darkseer is going to be the one to come in, and Zhao 8 is definitely a dangerous Darkseer right now. Level 7, but with a vacuum and an Iron Shell, even though only level 1 vacuum, we can still do quite a bit of damage.
LGD, I think their main task here is if they can keep all 6 outer towers. Oh, DDC gets completely spotted by this ward. He's dead.
Yeah, Vortex helping out. Well, bit of a delay since they didn't think they would need that one extra right click, but yeah, that's one dead Naga Siren. Naga Siren still level 4 rather. My bad, level 4. So Song not on the radar just yet.
Not even especially close, yeah. And Mushi is having a great game early as well too. He's 1-0-3. Has his treads, the bottle. He's doing very well, I think.
No,
Meanwhile,
Dragon
there's a
Tail,
fight.
yeah, up on X. He tries to run, but I don't think he can. That Iron Shell is hurting him tons. Yeah, with the first kill in the game for LGD. And with that, 5 heroes gathered here for LGD Gaming.
Yeah, it's. I think Extinct and Net were just a little slow to get out of there. It's not a fatal error by any means. I don't. Did they even lose the Chen creeps? They did, I think.
They did.
So not great, but not the worst. LGD. I mentioned that they might really want this tier 1. That's what you see them doing here. They're just going to muscle through it, even if they lose another hero. This is one of those weird games where one team is way ahead on kills, and I wouldn't necessarily say that they're ahead overall strategically.
Oh, not
like,
at
for
all.
instance, let's say you're orange and you want to get Roshan or contest Roshan. How do you actually do that with this tower?
You can TP to the tier 2 bottom, which is normally still a pretty acceptable TP point if you lost your tier 1s. You don't have your tier 1 mid anymore, which is a very high strategical point, so you kind of have to give the Roshan away. And even if you decide to fight, you have to be all there, and the moment that one of you dies, and even if you pass buyback, doesn't matter. You're gonna lose Roshan.
Yeah, it's not honestly a great situation for Orange just yet. It's acceptable. You do see Mushi going for this hyper efficiency, I want to actually get stuff done early build, the double null talisman. Generally, you see this when Storms feel less good about their farm, even though Mushi's farm is quite good. The reason he's doing this, in my opinion, is that they do feel that strategic, their positioning is not good relative to where LGD are at, and they want to generate pressure in the short to medium term rather than the long term. So he's not farming up Orchid. He wants to get things done now.
Yeah, very unlike Mushi in terms of gold. But then again, we talked about this. He is a hero that, you know, needs to get stuff done now. That's his job. Create space now. And this time not just for carries, but also, of course, for Ohio. He does have his Hand of Midas. And he has 2 kills of the 5 that they have, and it's not bad. But he is definitely not really far ahead or anything. I mean, he's even behind the Enchantress. He's being kept on par. Look at the difference in net worth. It's quite terrifying. Of course, main difference is the towers, and that gives gold to everybody on the side of LGD. But it's still making it quite scary for Orange at the moment, being this far behind on gold, on their core items that they need to have to fight.
I think Ohio might come in for some criticism. Oh, they might get Xiaowei.
Yeah, the sun was already there. Is there going to be a Sprout? Yes, there is. There is no Surge anymore, but the TP helm is going to be there, and Zhao 8 will be safe.
Ohio might get criticized a little bit for this Midas, but actually, Mushi in some trouble actually.
Yeah, Vortex, he tries to ball lighting himself out. Will be able to do that. The cooldown misses. Net. Is he gonna be the victim of this one? It looks like he might be. Yao can't get in range for the Dragon Tail. But this tier 1 tower, the last tier 1 tower standing on the side of Orange, looks to be taken down.
Yeah. I was just going to quickly say that the Midas timing for Nature's Prophet was actually not that bad, considering the early difficulties. Like, it's an okay timing. And because he started behind on levels, this Midas is going to really, really help him catch up on XP, which is almost more important for Orange at this juncture than making sure that he's very farmed.
Yeah, but taking out the tier 1s though, like, okay, we know that Orange is ahead in terms of killing potential, and they're doing good with that, but their space to farm is so diminished right now by virtue of losing all their tier 1s. They can't fight really all too easy in their own jungle. They can't take the farm there. They do have some sentry wards up, which is nice, but it's not all too safe. Right. And it look like their farming space is just so diminished that LGD is in a very dominant position.
They are. I mean, you're completely correct to highlight the map control, because you have basically 3 players who want to farm. most of your jungle is not tremendously safe. Like these two camps, the hard camp and the easy camp, are somewhat safe because you've got this tier 2 point. But these three camps are very dangerous. I mean, LGD doesn't have them warded right now, but they easily could. And so you can't really farm the Dire jungle. There's just so many entry points for the Dire and so few for you. Right now, I think Orange want to get map control back with ganks, and with Mushi leading the spearhead. This tri-smoke could make something happen, but LGD aren't there.
Well, let's see. Behind their tower. Feels like they're expecting someone. Mushi is going to walk right into them. Here comes the net. Ball lightning away. We'll be able to be safe.
Yeah. Net is just not tremendously effective against Storm in the sense that
Surge, he has a dragon form. Yao looking for the dragon tail. Looking for net. Should be able to get it as well. There it is. And that should be one deadly Shrek. Cooldown comes out as well. The net's going to be there just in case. Hand of God actually keeps him safe for a little while longer, but never mind. Never mind. And they go for the Chen next. But he walks himself out with his brown boots. Yes, he does. Walking is fun. Nice sun for the Centaur.
They do have Song of the Siren now, so that's something to watch out for. The other thing to watch out for is if Mushi does decide to build a BKB at some point, he can cut that Song of the Siren short if he's far enough ahead on levels relative to DDC. Something that you only see when Naga Siren is a support rather than a mid or a carry position. But she can just die if somebody's BKB'd and whacking on her while she's songing, and depending on what you wanted from that Song of the Siren, that can really screw you up.
Yeah, LGD, they're not done with laying down the pressure though. Tier 2 will be next. Lightning trying to counter push it a little bit, but I mean, the tower already down to half HP, and LGD didn't really need to give up anything. Here comes the sun, hitting up on the one person that can heal himself fairly easy. And
yep.
LGD, they back off, but I mean, this is just free harass. And with doing this, with trying to pressure a tower, they force everybody of Orange back behind their tier 1, tier 2 towers.
They have forced them back quite a bit, and Orange are going survivability first, which kind of hurts their ganking potential in some respects. I mean, this is an Alchemist who has no relevant items except this partially built BKB right now. So he is not going to deal good auto attack damage for a very long time. And I say very long because, of course, his GPM is nothing special, and it never will be because of the lack of towers. They would have to start getting a lot more kills to actually get the space for the Alchemist. Mushi also looks to be going BKB first. Not that I think this is bad, I was just talking about how it's good against Naga Siren. But they might start running into issues as LGD gets tankier and stronger as well, actually finding the kills to retain this advantage that they have on the kill score. Like, again, we have to remind people that, like, they're not ahead as far as actually strategically or by farming.
Yeah, 5k gold, that's in favor of LGD. Experience graph is slightly in favor of Orange, but then again, experience, of course, mostly gotten by kills, and kills are in favor of Orange. Let's see if LGD can make this tower fall apart. They're trying again. They don't have to deal with the Nature's Prophet just yet. Nature's Prophet is trying to make something happen on the bottom lane. We have Yao with the haste rune. Looking for net. Can he get him down? No. No Dragon Tail in time. And tier 1 tower bottom. Taking a bit of harassment. There's still fortification though. And it will actually get used. Instantly, Ohio backs off. His tier 2 mid went down. Maybe next time he'll be able to make a trade for his tier 2 top or something.
Possibly, yeah. I think one more good concerted push by Ohio would earn a tower, probably the bottom tower. The issue is how much does that really get them? Because LGD can just use the tier 1 mid while it's still up as a staging area to, for instance, punish people in the jungle. I think Orange find themselves in a very difficult place. Everybody's amassing BKBs, so they're preparing for that one. They're preparing for a very big fight. Like, you see DK's building BKB, Sylar on the Gyrocopter is done with his BKB, and obviously 2 players building it on Orange. All these are justifiable. For Orange, it's just a matter of getting a long enough reprieve to get the Alchemist something, and trying to generate opportunities with Mushi's Storm. Yeah. He's sold off the second null, it looks like, so he does want to... The thing is that the null didn't get him that much. Like, they really didn't get enough kills. They're going to have to somehow find more.
And they were trying to maybe get something going here on the top lane, but LGD comes in with full force. I mean, the top lane is the last lane where there's still a tier 2 standing, so it's probably the lane where LGD wanted to be anyway. And still, Orange has not been able to take down a tier 1. Maybe Ohio can do it now on the bottom lane. But as I said, he might be trading a tier 2 tower for it, and that's just not that favorable. You were talking about getting everybody the BKBs and then with them buying time for getting the Alchemist farm. LGD, they don't need to wait until there's BKB. They don't need to wait until there's any form of comeback from Orange. They have the opportunity now, and it looks like they just want to continue pressuring. And they're actually going to go for... Yeah, they're going to go for Hao. The tower still goes down. The TP is there. Looks like Yao will not be able to kill him by himself, but in comes Zhao 8 with the vacuum, interrupting the teleport. I mean, he's still got the tower. I think that's worth dying for at the moment.
He's gonna be up by the time LGD do anything, but if I'm LGD here, I just go and take Roche. What can Orange possibly do, again, to punish this Roshan? Yeah, there we go.
Middle tower is under attack.
And with Roshan, that gives them the tools they need to continue the push. I think Orange are being smart here. They have to... Oh, no, they pull out of the Roshan after all. I'm somewhat surprised. Maybe they want to defend their towers? Yeah, they're massing up.
Yeah, they really don't want to give any form of gold to LGD, to Orange rather. Let's see what they can do though. If they're fast enough, there's no fortification anymore, so the tower will die regardless. There we go, Nature's Prophet TP's out.
Well played to Orange.
Ball lighting in. Oh,
Whoa,
Mushi gets sent home by the Chen. Nicely done. Nice. Song comes out. KYX by. Okay, so everybody got himself out. BKB turn. No, he can't get away. Everybody got himself out. And the one person that is one of the most important people on the side of Orange is behind and goes down, which is the Alchemist, the carry of Orange. Is the only one that dies. And if you were to pick one person that you rather wouldn't have die, that would be the Alchemist.
Wouldn't be great if Storm Spirit died either, but I agree completely. I mean, it's... Honestly, this is a okay trade for LGD in the end. I kind of felt that they came a little late. They would have liked to do more, but it's still great to pick off the Alchemist. You wasted one of his BKB charges, his first one, actually, and that's another 30 seconds, another 44 seconds, I should say, in which he's not farming. He has no tools to speed up his farm, like, in terms of items. He does have rank 4 Acid Spray. They haven't been stacking Ancients for him to use this Acid Spray. They can't really stack the jungle because it's not safe for the supports to be there. So it's just going to be an Alchemist that's going to continue to stagnate at this, like, 300 to 400 GPM mark when you want that guy, like, rushing ahead towards the 500, 600. And with this medallion on Naga, it gives them even faster, even easier Roshans when they feel like it.
And Mushi might be in some trouble. DDC thinking about landing a net. Of course, for the previous fight, what do you think? Like, Alchemist, of course, he started running after his TP got interrupted by Naga. Do you think he would have a better chance if he started running first, then got netted, and then he went to try and TP out? Because he was very tanky. He was in his chemical rage. I think he might have had a shot.
They wouldn't net him until after the BKB because it's their only BKB pierce.
That's true.
They have other things like Vacuum that they can use to pull him in. They can even use Enchant. Like, if he's not BKB'd, he has no ability to get away from the fight. I think the sentiment is sensible. It's just, I don't think it would have saved him.
It's a shame. Roshan, this time for real for LGD. Might lose their tier 1 tower for it, which is already very low to begin with, so it's okay, I guess, in a way. The item's starting to get online for Orange, so they've got a Shadow Blade up on Nature's Prophet. That will make his split pushing a lot easier. KOA X-Spy, as already seen, has got his BKB. We've got Mana Boots up on the Chen, the Shrek. Not really too many items actually yet, and Mushi got his BKB ready as well. So Orange, core items, getting there. The question is, do they want to fight LGD for the Roshan? Is Mushi gonna try and steal this?
It looks like he wants to. He does have BKB, keep in mind. But his mana pool is very low because of that BKB. It could go either way. I mean, I suspect he's
gonna get sent home. Yeah, he's gonna get sent home. He's gonna be too late, though.
Nice back.
Too early, I mean, of course. Obviously,
sure.
Alchemist landing his stun. Might be regretting that, DDC. Not gonna land a net. And with the net, I mean a snare, not the player net.
Right. Getting the Aegis is great for LGD. I don't think it's that useful. They did spend a lot of time sort of dithering as to whether they wanted it or not. And of course they played it extremely safe. Rather than putting all 5 in the pit, they always had 2 in the pit, 3 on top, Naga medallioning from the high ground. I think it's a good approach. It does mean that they spent a tremendous amount of time to get this Roshan, but there was never really any doubt that they would kill it. Only maybe a little doubt that Mushi might pull off something amazing and steal it.
Yeah. It could, like, they don't really have anything to scout out the pit with. Like, you don't have, for example, flares or familiars or something to see how low Roshan was. So it was pure estimation to see how fast it would actually go down. It would have been amazing if they actually got it. That would have been something.
Right, but not easy.
Not
right?
easy.
It's-
No, not easy for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is because LGD have so... Well, honestly, I think Orange are doing very well because LGD have spent a tremendous amount of time, first off, defending but also not defending their tier 1s. So they really didn't get a single deny on any... And they were at every one of those... Haha, they used the ensnare on the Mushi illusion here. They spent a lot of time defending the tier 1s and only got like a kill or 2 from it. They spent a lot of time doing Roche, and that's let Orange actually bring their 3 cores into a decent amount of net worth. So I think Orange are better equipped for clashes.
Yeah.
We'll see right now.
DDC has got this song, but if he's gonna go down beforehand, he gets stunned up. And it looks like he might actually go down before the song, and is the case. BKB's turned on for everybody. But Sylar already very low. Net goes up on Zawait is gonna go down. Hyo picking up the kill. 2 kills going away for Orange, and look at them being careful. It's like, okay, you know what? We won the initial fight. We won the initial initiation with the 2 kills. Now run. Now back off. Mushi still has got a little bit of mana left to try and ball lightning away of something. He's gonna have a tough time though. He can't really TP himself away right now. And he's just trying to hide. Ball lightning is gonna be too late. And that's gonna be Mushi still dead. That's gonna be the only kill that LGD gets from that though.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that's gonna be the only homing missile kill you'll see this month. I'm just kidding. I love homing missile, but yeah, he didn't ball lightning in time. A little bit earlier. It's very tough to time because you have to be in the lightning form when it hits you. So and in this case, you have to be ball lightning away from them, which makes it more difficult to time properly. It's just a very tough situation for Mushi in general.
Yeah.
But that was a great fight for Orange, in my
was.
opinion. I feel like LGD let this go a little long, and they, up until that fight, they felt that they would still trivially win an engagement, and Orange showed them that they don't.
Yeah, I mean, like you already pointed out, their decisions to defend their tier 1s, which in the end turned out not to defend the tier 1s at all, kinda delayed the game to the point where, indeed, look at the net worth. Nature's Prophet with his Hand of Midas picked up his farm. Alchemist doing reasonably well for himself. Mushi, same thing there, and they are able to fight up against LGD. Of course, the big thing for this fight was that DDC couldn't get his song off before the fight actually started because he just got targeted, he got stunned, he got vortexed, and he went down. We saw him putting the hands in the air, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, and I think even if he casts the song, he dies so quickly, it'll be difficult for them to do much with that. Because Alchemist and Storm were BKB'd by the time that even happened. I don't know, maybe they could make something happen, but maybe he just dies 1 second into the song. I think it definitely would be better for LGD, but you do see that they feel as though they suddenly don't have as much control as they thought. They're sort of smoking into an area where they don't have wards, so I think on this trip maybe they'll plant one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they don't find any kills unless they see KYXY here.
Well, they surge up, but they don't want to be running blindly to the high ground. I don't blame them. In the meantime, on the top lane, Mushi is pushing out. 1700 gold in his inventory. Bottom lane is getting pushed up by Ohio, and all of a sudden, the split push potential of Orange is starting to get a lot more dangerous than it was before. I mean, and LGD in the meantime, they're still sitting with 5. And even though that was okay to begin with at the start, when they were ahead, it's starting to hurt them right now more than it is helping them because they share experience, they share gold, and they need golden experience on everyone to stay ahead of Orange.
Yep. I honestly think Orange are playing this exactly the way that they need to. They would have been happier with a bigger advantage early, but they're playing from behind quite well. They're 3, I mean, like you said, there are 3 cores lodged in that net worth gap between Gyro and Yao. And if they can... Actually, honestly, they have control of their jungle back. I would like to see more wards here, maybe even like a Sentry and Observer combo to spot smoke ganks coming into the jungle. And that frees up the jungle, certainly, for Alchemist to farm. They could even start... Yeah, they have started stacking. They could even do more stacking of this Ancient Camp as well. Mushi.
Looks for fight. He is, of course, invisible for the moment. Is he gonna have some help? Yes, he is. Nature's Prophet is around there. As well, actually, as... the Leshrac, as well as the Chen. But if he finds someone, it might be a kill. It looks like he backs off.
Over here now.
Yeah, it's that's very disciplined from Mushi. He could have gone in there and it would have been... you see LGD there, by the way, trying to take advantage. If Orange had even slightly overextended and not pulled back, you just see the Xiao 8 surges the Naga, DDC runs in songs, and Orange are completely caught out.
Yeah.
So once again, Orange playing very calm and collected here, and pulling back a situation that looked quite bad for them at the like 15-ish minute mark.
Yeah, in the meantime, Extinct, he's got 1700 gold. Do we have a mechanism yet up on the side of Orange, or is he still needing to have that one? I think he needs to have it still, right? Yeah. So that's going to be making a big difference, because already just we saw them fighting on the top lane, and they were able to win that fight in the end. Of course, they still lost Mushi, but hey. But with the mechanism there, that would have been even more convincing, and they wouldn't have needed to back off, perhaps, after the initial initiation.
To be fair, Chen is holding a lot of gold.
Yeah.
So if he wants the mechanism, he's fairly close to it. I think he's... It's interesting that he hasn't built it. There is the option of Vlad's, which wouldn't be the worst thing ever. So we'll see what he builds first. I suspect it'll still be mech, but maybe he's trying to make a decision about that. The thing is that they started so behind, especially on the map control. I mean, we talked almost ad nauseum about how they didn't have their own jungle. And where's Chen supposed to farm if he doesn't have control of his own jungle? And when he does, Alchemist and Nature's Prophet want a cut of the profits.
Yeah. I mean, that's just one of the things that you have to deal with as a Chen. You're gonna have to give up your jungle, especially if you have a Nature's Prophet in the jungle as well, because he just clears out those camps real fast. Alchemist as well, especially if he goes for Battle Fury, which in this case is of course not the case. But still, you can't claim creeps to take home for you to convert if you want to, but normally you can't really claim farm for your own. We've got KYX in the meantime, his Assault Cuirass is ready, and LGD, as you already pointed out, I mean, they're just feeling a lot less safe than they did before. We have Yao sitting around his tier 2 tower, DD sitting around his tier 2 tower, and they just don't want to go out by themselves anymore. Not because, like, they don't feel ahead, and I don't blame them, because, like, look at the gold graph, it's back to 0. Now I have to say it was never really that far in favor of LGD to begin with, around 6 to 7k, but still getting it back to 0 means that they are actually slightly behind, I'd say, at this stage of the game. Experience graph goes the way of Orange. Of course, it is not a very kill-heavy game.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're 2 towers up and behind on gold. And what that says to you is that, you know, this team got more money out of pushing, but they're actually losing the farming race to a team that they ostensibly had control of the entire map against. So basically this is LGD releasing the pressure valve, just completely stepping off the gas pedal when they were ahead. Something that I actually think they're a vulnerable team to in general. As we look to TI3, it's very important for these teams to look at these games and identify areas where, you know, particular aspects of their play are exploited by the other team. I feel here Orange is exploiting the fact that they know that... Oh, Mushi. He's okay.
Yeah, he cut out the smoke of 5 people from LGD who went inside the Radiant jungle, but turns on his BKB, ball lightnings away. It means he has a faster reaction time than DDC though, because I think he had the time to net if he wanted to. Though, of course, you can't really net a Storm Spirit, then again. That is one of the things, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is Sylar has been farming all through this period. He's maintained a lead in the net worth as well as the actual like creep farm and GPM over all the farmers of Orange, and now he has Butterfly. So this is an unanswered Butterfly. There's nothing even approaching an MKB on Orange's side. Nature's Prophet is building towards Scythe, which honestly works somewhat as well, because when they're actually Scythed, obviously you can chew through that, but not during BKB.
No.
And Mushi also building a Scythe. This will be good eventually, but while the charges for BKB are still healthy on Sylar, I think he's now substantially the most dangerous person on the map.
Yeah, one thing as well, I mean, Dragonite has of course had a BKB for quite some time now, I believe. He only used 1 charge of it when that fight happened on the top lane. And so the BKBs are still fairly long. Same thing goes for the Gyrocopter, I believe, 8 seconds, which is still fairly long as well. So the Hex of the Nature's Prophet, when it comes, we'll see how much the BKBs are then, because of course the higher duration, the less real use you're gonna have out of it, or at least the less chance you're gonna have to use it. Do they know that this Roche...
Let this Roche go. They have to know what's happening.
Yeah, Treants are gonna come in. We also have a Centaur scouting out. They see it. Centaur taking over.
The Treant just scouted the health of Roche, so they have a better idea of how to...
Yeah, he will try it again. He will try it again. He gets resent back a little bit too late as well. Oh, Ihio, what are you doing there up the high ground? Vacuum doesn't hit. There goes the dust. They see him, but they can't stop him from TPing out unless... No, they can't. This is gonna be a TP out. I like the attempt of Mushi with the sent home.
Yeah, the idea is sound.
Yeah.
But he uses a BKB charge every time he does it, so it would be nice if he... I mean, it's so incredibly difficult to pull off, especially from that distance, and with a fairly ungenerous mana pool. nobody can blame him for not getting these Aegis steals. It's just a shame for fans of Orange that they haven't been.
Yeah. Well, another Aegis goes away with LGD. The question is, how comfortable are they to use it? Because, of course, last time, well, they didn't really get too much out of that one. So, what are they going to get out of this one? Are they going to be able to pick up the tier 2 tower with it? Maybe. Going high ground? Doubt it. They need a bit of a bigger fight to take before they can try to siege the high ground of Orange, I think.
I think LGD are just running into some of the limitations of the supports that they've picked, too. They have the Naga Siren, and ostensibly the Song of the Siren provides you this enormous combo opportunity. And they have the Darkseer, who is the ostensible second, other shoe that drops there. But they don't have that much that keys off of it. Gyrocopter is excellent with it. Dragon Knight, but only when he hits level 16. And Enchantress really doesn't have much that's going to key off of that at all. And not to mention the Naga herself with no farm. So, LGD at this point are waiting. They're waiting for missed opportunity to gank Yao there.
Yep.
Is Mushi in trouble? That's, I guess, my question. He's probably fine.
He should be fine. He can always TP himself out. I don't think they know he's still there.
I think once they hit level 16 Dragon Knight, they'll start to play with more confidence. Because that does give them vacuum into Dragon Knight, just auto attacks is quite good.
Yeah, we do have the fortification getting used by LGD, and the fact that 4 heroes of Orange just try to push down at tier 2 while they know that LGD has got the Aegis. It's quite ballsy of them, and it also shows how they feel they're standing in this game so far. Of course, one thing that's going to be of impact in the next fight is going to be that Ohio has a side of the Vice, Darkseer has a side of the Vice, and they all just got picked up at about the same time. Oh, Mushi trouble. He doesn't have a BKB ready, or at least he does, but he's going to get stumped the entire time. And that's going to be a pick-off for Yao. Dragon Tail doing its work.
That's a gank that LGD are very happy to get. They, of course, don't see his gold amounts, but Mushi, hanging on to a tremendous amount of unreliable gold, lost quite a chunk of it there. And that'll move him away from his... not only will it move him away from his Scythe of Ice, it might make him think twice about even building it before saving buyback on top of it.
Yeah, we've got a 4-step up on Lashrak. He's kind of sitting at a troubled position, though. He's gonna be okay. Zawait might be trying to take something down there. We do have Chen around here as well. There's a surge away. Net will be able to just run away from that. In the meantime, Siler pushing middle. He's got 3,600 already after getting the butterfly. And even though the tier 2 tower is already gone here, LGD sitting mid, looking to push. Again, I'm not sure if that's the right choice, especially not since they kind of missed the opportunity to push while Mushi was dead. Mushi is going to be up for the next fight. So we'll see how far they get with the amount of pressure that they can apply.
Yao is still level 15, so not quite that Frost Dragon yet, but they do have a lot of power to chew through the tower while he is still a Fire Dragon.
Oh wow. Ha, Mushi. Zipping
Base
in and
defense
out.
Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
He's actually a quite good base defender with a big enough mana pool. His is borderline right now. If he does get that Scythe of Ice soon, he's going to be able to sort of zip over here and then zip all the way back to Fountain without too much wasted time. And that's a large amount of damage. It's like a surprising amount of AoE damage that if you're not ready for it, it can really screw you up. And you can see that at this point, Ohio has recovered from his start completely.
Yeah.
He's actually the second highest last hitter in the game, and he generated enough pressure that LGD was forced to basically completely call off their push and go to handle the top and the jungle.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, LGD, they just started pressuring. They backed off again, obviously. But they did get the fortification out. And that's probably the one thing that they wanted to have. So next time, if they find a pickup on someone like Mushi, they'll try to go high ground, should the lanes be in their favor, obviously. Though they'll have to deal with an extra Scythe of Ice, because Storm Spirit now has one as well. That means 2 Scythe of Ices up on the side of Orange.
Right. It's a very, very good pickups for Orange. Also, I wanted to praise Net a little bit for his almost prescient skill build this game. I think he correctly identified that, hey, I mean, we have a push lineup, but they have a push lineup that likely trumps ours, simply because we can't contest their pushes in a fight. So he goes this early Lightning Storm, and now, 35 minutes later, the Lightning Storm is being very, very effective at clearing waves quickly, at keeping LGD from feeling comfortable going the high ground. So a good game for Net, as quiet as it's been. He's also been part of 100% of Orange's kills.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
nice.
More than Mushi or anybody, in fact.
That's
so.
actually very nice. The means of Gyrocopter, by the way, hasn't died yet. But yeah, I mean, one acid spray down near the tower, lightning over the top, and that should be, like, the creep wave gone. And that's gonna be very powerful. Like, how is LGD gonna go high ground without having that build up? Like, they can't really siege because the creep wave will go down very fast. They have to have a build up in terms of creep wave. And if you have that, then it's gonna be kinda obvious when you go in. And they smoke up, actually. Maybe they can get a pick up.
They can find Ohio. He's got buyback, so I'm not sure how much this is worth. I mean, it's obviously a kill. Kills are great. He scouts it. No, he doesn't scout it out, obviously, because the tree. But Orange still playing safe, and that's playing smart in this case.
Yeah.
Up.
Hex, KYX5, vacuum back as well. Here comes a Dragon Tail on the net, and that is one dead Alchemist.
They tried.
They
used the Chen send back and the Chen heal, all to try to get him out, and it didn't work.
Oh.
That's a big loss. He's got no buyback. He just bought part of a heart.
And with that on cooldown, of course, and with that I mean the Hand of God on the Chen, this is going to be giving LGD another mental push to actually go right now, apart from, of course, already having the Alchemist out of the way. No heal is a big thing as well. In comes Net, tries to push the lane back. Bit of a harassment coming off the send back from Mushi.
Yep, just to speed up the rate at which he can do that zip. He can't do it again, though, because they're about to lose their tier 3. He needs to conserve his mana for winning this fight. Unless they just want to give up the Raxes, which might be their only option, at least the melee. Yeah, they can't really... Okay.
Well, the Hex is gonna be there. But other than
this
that...
is smart.
Yeah, they just let it go.
It's not, you know, very exciting for us spectators, but that was an intelligent decision by Orange. Frankly, without KYXY, they cannot contest that.
Yeah, and then it turns into a question like, do you want to lose your one laner Rax or one melee Rax and just not fight? Or do you want to attempt to fight, knowing that if you lose the fight, and the fight was indeed in the opponent's favor, you would lose a whole lot more than just your melee Rax?
You could straight up lose the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, right decision, I think, also from Orange. It's just putting LGD in a more dominant position right now, though. The gold graph still very much at even. Experience graph now showing a bit more towards LGD, but again, 3k difference at 40 minutes in the game is nothing. And it's all about control right now, all about who is dominating the map. And LGD is the one to do that. LGD is the one to have the control, by far.
How much of the map is Orange comfortable with farming at any given time? Is basically the question that we've been asking all game. Right now, it's not very much, because they feel pressured to their tier 3s. They've now lost a lane of melee creeps. Granted, it's not that bad for Alchemist to be in this position, because, I mean, Alchemist can get a lot of farm even by clearing out a wave of creeps like this, a wave of super creeps, I should say. That said, they're still scared about the jungle, and rightly so, because LGD has shown a willingness to smoke gank them there, and a willingness to use it as a staging pad to just charge up into the high ground.
Yeah, we see actually a drawing.
They are out of them, though.
LGD.
They're out of smokes.
LGD knows where Orange is, though. But then again, I mean, they're out of smokes, but Orange, they only have one observer ward up on the map, which is the one at the top rune spawn. Nothing else whatsoever. LGD, they might just be able to run in and get something. And of course, they would have to walk past this ward to see it, as in DD has got a gem. So should there be wards, they know that they're spotted out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like they're actually gonna try.
We're stuck in not a repeat of the IG Orange game, but it's similar in the sense that both teams don't want to take a fight unless they know that they started the fight in an advantaged position. And with both teams out of stock of smoke for the next 3 minutes for LGD and 6 minutes for Orange. Actually, no, Orange is hanging on to one smoke on Extinct. But I don't think there's a smoke in any of LGD's inventories. Yeah, they don't. So they can take Roche because that's a set piece fight, but they won't want to sort of go ganking again.
Yeah, let's see. Orange, though, like, they just lost their Rex. What do they need to do to not just sit back and wait and see what LGD does? What do they need to do?
I think Orange are put in a fairly reactive position. They can actually get the Alchemist bigger. The Heart would be very, very nice to actually have up, especially against a Gyrocopter who's getting scarier and scarier. I still don't think they can steal the Roshan unless Mushi does something miraculous, so this is a Cheese Roche. They're gonna have to win a fight against Aegis and Cheese. Not easy, but, well, this smoke has to come to something, basically. They don't even know about Roche this time, I guess? Maybe they do. They do.
Well, if they do, it's gonna be too late.
Yep.
And there's a Hex up on Zalate, but Orange, they're running away. They're trying to
Trouble.
back off. The Hex
Trouble.
goes off on X. And that's gonna be one dead Chen. We'll use the mechanism. We'll try to TP out, but I don't think that's gonna matter at all. No Hand of God, no mechanism, no buyback.
Right. Only one death is honestly not as bad as Orange could have had from that fight. If LGD had caught them out a little harder. Unfortunately, they went smoke ganking when LGD was started doing the Roche and didn't make a beeline for Roshan. So I have to guess that they didn't think LGD was going for it just yet, which is a little surprising since it's the clear choice for LGD. But I'm not sure. Maybe they thought there were some in the pit and some elsewhere on the map.
Could be. They were a little bit late to try and rotate that way also. If they still wanted to check, I mean, we're gonna assume that they have a timer, so that they would have known.
Oh, of course.
That it was there again, so that even if they didn't find anybody, they could take down Roshan at the exact right time. But no, we've got the cheese up on Yao, and even with the Chen down, they didn't end up going for anything in the mid lane, knowing of course that they already have the mid lane in terms of getting the melee ranks there. I'm gonna expect LGD to either want to take down a tier 2 as their next target. I mean, that's a fairly easy target. And I think actually Orange is just going to give that away because they are behind.
With Aegis and Cheese, I wouldn't mind them being a little bolder. This is something that I know LGD sometimes is loath to do, but it wouldn't be bad to push in the mid if Orange tries to initiate on you, win that fight, and then just rotate and clear out the tier 3 bottom afterwards. Once you take 2 lanes of racks, again, Orange have 3 active farmers. Look how much Mushi's farm has stagnated since the Scythe of Vice. His net worth really hasn't budged. He's keeping up with Yao, but even Xiao 8 now is ahead of him with this Scythe of Vice plus 3k gold. He could make something like... Shiva's wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be too surprised about an Aghanims. You can get a copy of that Alchemist. That would be neat.
It would be good if you get him in his ultimate form. Yeah. I think they'd rather just shut down Alchemist with Scythe of Ice, or like get the jump on him again. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Now that he has Heart, that's a lot of strength. That's a big, stats-heavy Alchemist.
Oh, Mushi going very aggressive here on Xiao 8. Might be able to pick him up before the song happens. Never mind, he got the song. That's gonna be one healed up Darkseer, and this should be 2 people dead. BKB TP out for 1. And that's gonna be 1 interrupted, trying to zip himself away. The TP out still was there for the Nature's Prophet. Mushi completely out of mana now, though. Gets hexed again and goes down. That's an important pickup for Orange. Mushi does have a buyback, but he might be forced to use it.
He'll use it almost. It's 60 seconds. LGD now, they're here. Why not take the tier 2? Easy pickup. I don't think Orange seek to contest the tier 2. I think they buy back Mushi only if and when LGD go for the tier 3. And... yeah, okay. That's a little early, but it's fine. Obviously, he needs to prepare for this.
Yeah, and hope that, of course, LGD doesn't even try to go high ground after the buyback. Never mind. That's not gonna happen. The buyback was there to surge up for Yao. Let's see how much damage they can do against this tier 3. And if Orange actually wants to fight, Ball Lightning in, gonna get sent home, just like last time. Here comes a stun, only hits up on the Dragon Knight. Hex up on KYX play though, but he should be safe. Tower still ends up going down. Mechanism
nice
keeps
sprout.
LGD up. Nice sprout indeed, locks in 2. Vortex up on Xiao 8, he does go down. Here comes a Dragon Tail. Joe, trying to keep himself up, is able to pick up at least 1 kill. Turns on his BKB and goes back in. KYX by trying to run. His teammates falling dead behind him, below him, around him. And he only has 1 teammate left off, and that's the one that just bought back. And he's gonna get netted up. KYX by drops. Ohio drops. That's gonna be another set of racks. And that's gonna be a courier fed as well because they can. And GG Cold, LGD take themselves a game in Group A for the RedBull Esports Champions League.
That was excellent play by LGD during that last push. Very, very composed, very strong play. No song, and yet they looked extremely crisp throughout the fight. I especially really liked that Yao didn't use BKB until late in the fight. He didn't use the BKB early. He used it only after Orange had fully committed to the fight and then flipped it on their heads. I would say that Dragon Knight basically the MVP of that last engagement, and since that was kind of the defining engagement of the game, or really Orange's last stand by fiat, that makes him the MVP. But overall, LGD, a little more passive and conservative than maybe was warranted by the state of the game. But you can't take anything away from these guys' skill and ability to execute team fights. Other than one team fight in which Orange was able to play very well, LGD's execution was just top-notch. And they take a well-deserved win while Orange starts 0-2 in the group.
Yeah.
Not a comfortable position to be in, and definitely they're going to want to avoid that 5th place, that dreaded 5th place.
Yeah, and they don't have any other games today, right?
Is under attack.
I believe the next game is all going to be Group A. It's going to be Tongfu versus LGD Int and LGD Int versus XPY. So Orange have some time to think about how they don't want to get eliminated.
LGD Int is in Group B.
I meant the other. Sorry, that's my bad. I meant I don't even know. I honestly don't know what I meant. But it's XPY against some team and LGD Int against Tongfu.
Okay.
There should be exciting games. I will not be there. I have a meeting in 7 minutes.
Okay.
Thanks so much for the opportunity, Shiva. Thanks to all the viewers. I think I'll be back tomorrow unless you find somebody more useful.
Well, no, I'd love to have you back tomorrow. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to actually sleep tonight, though, because that would be nice. But yeah, we are gonna, of course, still continue on, still having at least one more game, depending on if it continues, because of course there's been a lot of delays in the LAN event that we have had so far, and we might actually have the organizers to say, you know what, it is starting to get past midnight in China, let's postpone the games, because they have to get up early tomorrow again. But let's find out. Of course, my co-cast was Vigerman. Do you have any plugins and shoutouts and such?
No, I mean, VYKROMOND, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, website, all that good stuff. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little more timely. They did have some issues. I think this is one of the newer venues. They had to figure out the computer situation, some people had issues, blah, blah, blah. Regardless, it was fun to cast some good games. Have a good night.
Have a good night indeed, and let's jump ourselves out of this match into the next one. Stick around for more Red Bull Esports Champions League. Don't go anywhere.